Hey everyone, happy Tuesday, and welcome to Season 3 of the Parent Podcast. I hope you had an amazing time of worship this weekend with our church family here at ABC. I'm Josh, youth pastor here at Acton Baptist. I want to thank you for joining me on your drive, your lunch break, or that time you set aside just for this each week. So, without further ado, let's get to it. I hope you had a great Labor Day weekend and that you got some rest. Over the next few weeks, as we discuss the parenting world with teenagers, we're going to talk a little bit about hurting. And not just any hurting, but parent hurting, and how we can keep hope during those times. If you're a parent of teenagers, you know that it can be difficult. There are times as you go through this journey that parenting just hurts. You love your kids so much, and when you love someone as much as that, you risk being hurt on a daily basis. Sometimes the hurt can come from the choices your teen makes. Sometimes it's the fact that you and your teen are different. And sometimes it's because of things outside of your control. But there is always a guarantee that there will be days when parenting hurts. And it's during those tough times that it's important to remember what Paul writes in Romans 12:12. This may not be a verse necessarily about parenting, but it sure does apply to the life we're living while we're parents. Paul writes, "Rejoice in hope. Be patient in affliction. Be persistent in prayer." Our God is a God of hope. He gives hope to us and to our kids, and we never lose that because it's where our joy is found. Notice the second part of that verse. It says, "Be patient in affliction." It's going to happen. There's that guarantee we were talking about. There's going to be hard days, but we can be patient through it. We can concentrate on the hope that God offers. And the last part of that verse, be faithful in prayer. Sometimes we treat our prayers as a last resort when it's supposed to be our first priority. We don't need to wait until things are hard before we start talking to God about them. Why wouldn't we be in constant conversation with God about our kids and about our parenting? I want you to take this as an encouragement during the tough times to not forget to think about what God is showing you right now. It's not just about your teenager. A few chapters earlier, Paul writes, "We know that all things work together for the good of those who love God, who are called according to his purpose." God uses absolutely everything in our lives to refine us and to help us grow closer to him. See the hurt and draw closer to the one who brings healing. And most importantly, I want you to know that you are not alone. Pastor Mark on Sunday reminded us about shared growth and the purpose of church family. I hope you have friends, extended family, and others that you can call when you need support too. The life of a parent is tough, and we need each other. Remember, you are not alone. Remember, rejoice in hope. Be patient in affliction, and be faithful in prayer. A few announcements before we finish up today. It is that time of year again when we reset our Remind texting service. Our old Parent Remind has officially closed, and we're going to be communicating only through the 2024-25 listing. Head to actonbaptist.com/youth and click the link in the Parent Center to register. I also want to take this opportunity to plug our marriage enrichment class, Reengage. If you and your spouse are looking for a Bible study on Wednesdays while your teen is in youth, I cannot recommend a better study for you. This week is the last opportunity to register for this fall's class, so make sure to be there. Reengage meets upstairs at 6 o'clock, and it lets out the same time as our youth midweek gathering. Next, our first fall event will be Saturday, September 7th. We'll be heading to Cidercade in Fort Worth for an afternoon of arcade games. The cost is $15, and as with all of our youth events, parents are more than welcome to attend. Students must register so we can have a head count for those going. If your student doesn't register, I'm sorry, but I cannot allow them to come. Make sure to head to actonbaptist.com/youth to register. Thank you so much for listening today. Know that I'm always praying for you and your family. If you haven't already, make sure to follow our social media accounts on Facebook and on Instagram by searching for AB Youth Min. Also, go ahead and share our podcast so our reach can go out that much further. Thank you so much for joining me, and we will see you here at Acton Baptist and on the Parent Podcast next week.